Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Ah!
So, Autophiles in the CLS.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Holy
See, even when we're in a special Mercedes,
we still look at the old
BMWs.
Something wrong with it.
So we're in a slightly special car, CLS 450 4MATIC.
Okay.
Now, Bo probably thinks it's special because it's a new CLS.
Okay.
I think it's special because it's the first reintroduction of an inline 6 in Mercedes.
Yes, that too. And Mercedes don't really mind using inline 6 because they don't care where the engine is anyway. They can push it all the way to the front. Mercedes is not like BM where, BM is a bit OCD about the weight distribution of their engine, where they have to push as much to the back as possible. Mercedes, hang the whole thing in the front, doesn't matter. Well, is it really delivering a kind of smoothness? I think refinement-wise, even the V6 has already reached that level.
Yes.
So,
but I don't feel it, but you hear it.
Oh yeah.
You hear it.
You hear the inline 6.
Or you have to wind the windows down to hear it because the NVH is a bit too good here.
Yeah.
But oh man, I was in sport mode and I just let it rev. I was like, wow, this doesn't sound like any Mercedes I've tested in the last 3 years.
BMW fanboys, it's time to get a Mercedes because you're getting your inline 6.
If you go into high spec, you're going into AMG territory.
Oh, so they have an AMG. Well, I wouldn't be surprised for this.
Yeah. And the AMG is also a bit special.
Oh, wow.
Because we've been driving 43 and 63 models.
Okay.
43 signifies V6.
Okay.
63 signifies V8.
V8, yeah.
53 signifies inline 6, tuned to
53.
AMG. Yeah. So creative, right, the Germans. The naming system doesn't make sense in that regard because why is 43 V6? Then why is the 2-litre inline 4 of 45?
You're right, because A-class buyers needs to be boosted up.
In
that sense,
you are special. You got more. You got two more.
You got two more than that V6. Well, a little bit of context here. Mercedes-Benz was practicing for a long time a little bit of a cheat when it comes to their model naming. They deliver less than what they are calling their cars, isn't it? Huh? There was a period of time where you have E-Coupe, which is actually a C-Coupe. Then you have at the same time a C-Coupe, which is also a C-Coupe. The latest E-Coupe is actually an E-Class, isn't it? And this is also based on an E-Class, isn't it? Which is the same chassis of the current E. Now, the first CLS was actually an E-Class, 4-door, longer, which is funny because it's based on an E-Class and then they call it a coupe, but it's longer than the 4. Because I did some research about what CLK meant. Yeah. And it came out to be Coupe Luxus Kurz, or whatever. It means that luxurious short coupe. Kurz is short. Yeah. Okay. So CL naturally is luxurious coupe. So after that they changed the naming convention a little bit and I kind of lost it. I didn't research into it for quite a while. But if I'm not mistaken, I think it still means that coupe luxus. But when it comes to CLS, I don't know what it meant. CLS was benchmarked against the S. It's meant to be for an S-Class buyer who wants to be their own driver, driving something a bit sleeker. Yeah. But mind you, while the price tag might be very similar with an S-Class, and they want to pretend that it is an S-Class, it looks a bit like an S-Class in here. The reality is the CLS is not based on an S-Class, it's based on an E-Class. Yeah.
So they're basically doing what they used to do with the CLK.
Yeah, of course it's marketing. Now, of course, whatever name and whatever, ultimately how it drives. But mind you, being a chassis different, there are significant differences there. And I mean, my first impression is that this look, you don't like it, right?
I don't like the look.
You don't like the look,
but you like it.
I'm beginning not to like it as much. It kind of aged after driving the A250.
Yeah. You see, when you saw the A250, you said,
"Wow!"
But you said this look doesn't look
fit a bigger car.
Yeah, and then you see it on a bigger car, it's like, oh no.
I see it on a bigger car, I'm like, okay, like that. And when I first saw it, I was head over heels for it. But it kind of got a bit boring. It's a bit lacking in personality. A bit pretty face without an edge. Well, of course, this is very subjective. You may still be in the stage where you were like me, like a few months ago, head over heels for this car.
We can move into performance, right?
So performance, tell us about this power figures.
It has a mild hybrid system.
Yeah. What does it do?
It's there to save fuel.
Oh, so it's not power delivery.
At times, I think you see the EQ there.
Yeah.
It can have this thing called EQ boost.
Okay.
Which just gives you a little bit of
more like when you start off the mark kind of thing.
But if you push the accelerator, it will also just boost you a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if it makes a big difference, but it's really there just to help transition the engine when it's going from off to on, when you're coasting with the engine off and stuff like that. But the performance from the engine It's 500 Newton meters of torque.
Oh, let's call change tyre every 6 months.
And 367 horsepower.
367 horsepower, but they call it a 450.
There's a 350 version of this also. And I think it doesn't use inline 6.
This subjective naming convention needs to stop, man.
Yeah.
They really need to get out
It's a
with
2
it.
litre.
Yeah, 2 litre inline 4.
So now the CLS 350 is a 2 litre.
Wait, but that will be cheap, isn't it?
It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
We've talked about the figure. Talk about 0 to 100. I presume this is about 6.
This is 4.8 seconds.
Oh, faster than it feels, though.
Yeah.
4.8.
Yeah. It doesn't feel super lightning quick. It doesn't have that wheel spin and all that because it's a 4MATIC. You don't get the drama.
No wonder they call it a 450. 4.8 seconds is significant, man. It's a lot, actually.
When you step on it and you start to experience what the engine can do, it puts a smile on my face. We already saw the real CLS. It's nice, right?
Holy this is BMW sound. Oh, very long. Here we go.
I love the way this car drives.
It is a little bit more clunky than BMW in very high speed, especially when it comes to letting go of the accelerator. You feel the kickback. Not present in a lot of BMW. You see, BMW releases its torque really well and let you control, gives you really refined control. Whereas this car, you have to struggle with it a little bit. Just now when I let go of my accelerator, because I was stepping on it for like 5-6 seconds, right? More than that.
A bit more.
It was so long. The power delivery was so beautiful, so smooth, and the sound, wow. Is that inline 6 sound? Sounds like a very angry sewing machine.
3 litre inline 6 in this day and age,
It's unheard of.
It's unheard of. I quite liked how it drove. I've been saying it over and over again. But because the car has to be switched around from mode to mode, we were in Sport just now, so the whole car changes how it's. It's a typical Mercedes problem I have with modern Mercedes.
It changes too much.
It's like 4 different cars in one, and you don't enjoy any particular technology unless you're pushing it completely in one direction, which I think in Mercedes' mind is the right thing to do. I guess it is because you have so many different customers, right? But to me, it should just be left in one mode, adaptive or auto mode. Yeah, the problem with this kind of thinking is it makes it very hard to criticize a car like this. Because if you want to say, oh, it's to this, I change mode, it's not anymore. You say it's to
this. It's like a trump card. Now what?
I cannot be criticized because I can be all these cars.
All these things,
But in comfort mode, it is a little bit slower to react. You can shift it down.
It is very Mercedes in comfort mode. Actually, it feels a little bit like my car, but much more refined. The response time is reminiscent of Mercedes of old, where it's a bit deliberate, where it thinks about your command for a while and says, I agree with your input of acceleration, and I judge it reasonable, and I shall give you what you demand. Of course, Mercedes-Benz is a little bit deliberate. Older Mercedes-Benz, especially when you give it some command like changing the fan speed or whatever, you'll think about it for like about 2 seconds, then it will give it to you. It is very dignified, it is deliberate, and everything was done with thoughtfulness, and I like that. And that character, however, it's very hard to impress people on first impression, but it works well over a long period of ownership. I feel a little bit of that here, especially in comfort mode. It's slightly deliberate, takes a bit of time to give you what you want, sometimes negotiate with you a bit, don't go so fast man. That is a character of Mercedes-Benz, and for that I cannot fault it. I like it or not, that is a second matter, it's a different matter, but it is the character of Mercedes-Benz. If Mercedes-Benz were to lose this, that would be very sad. In comfort mode, all I can say is I am impressed in the fact that they are very consistent with what they are. There's only one sad thing. Here comes the bad part. I felt that it feels like an E-Class inside here. Now, in an E-Class, I'm a bit impressed.
Because it's an E.
It's an E, it's like 300,000 over car, whatever. But when you're a CLS, and I'm pretty sure the asking price is, sky high, astronomical, there is a certain level of expectation, and it did not exceed my expectation. Therein lies the problem. Like just now, we went into sport mode, and I stepped on it, the sound is amazing, But that's about it. If you're talking about actual control and power, the power delivery is very, very BMW like, almost BMW like. It drags so long, it gives and gives and gives, which is so good. I'm so happy. But the car is not tuned in a way to handle very aggressive driving. So when when I do something a little bit reckless and I let go of my accelerator very late with full top, being punched into the gearbox and then suddenly letting go. The car doesn't know what to do with a guy who lets go of his accelerator suddenly, then step on it again, you know. Whereas BMW expects an driver to do that. That being said, my CLS also behaves a little bit like that. Once in a while, you want to feel a little bit naughty, and I think
I don't think this car can go full naughty.
No, it can't go full naughty. It goes 90% naughty, and that's about it. Oh yeah, there's another thing, and again a contextual problem here. I'm a little bit less impressed than I thought I would be, partially because it is a CLS. You come in with a lot of expectation. I was very impressed with the way the S-Class drive, remember?
Yes.
But that's because we expect it to be a freaking whale, right? And it didn't behave like a whale.
Yeah.
This one drives better than that, to be honest, way better. But it's not as comfortable, right?
Yeah.
It is not as obliging.
Yeah.
You feel a little bit of bumpiness at the back, especially when you go through some bumps. And that's okay, it's not uncomfortable. It is still an extremely comfortable car.
Yeah.
It's just that it is based on a smaller chassis. Naturally, it doesn't have the imposing posture that an S-Class exudes.
Honestly speaking, comfort, engine, power delivery and all that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not impressed, but it's damn good. A CLS is a special car.
It is, and the price is.
And the price is special. They will never CKD this car. They will only CBU this car.
Yeah.
It's almost a statement car. But that's the problem with this car, is that after I looked at this car and experienced this car for a few days, the package just doesn't seem that special to me.
I think I agree with you on that. It is damn good, but we're not impressed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because maybe we expect a little bit more.
Expectation is very high for this car, and objectively
It's damn
speaking,
good.
I will give it a 4.5.
Okay.
But subjectively speaking, it's more closer to
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah. I think for me, objectively speaking, it's 4. There are some complaints that I think Mercedes may be able to solve, but it's not really in the character of Mercedes to solve this problem. So, whatever. I'll give it objectively a 4 out of 5 for performance. But because I was not entirely impressed, because it didn't break any mold, and it feels very similar. I mean, it's incremental. It's like CLS, my CLS first generation, an octave and a half improvement, you know, kind of thing. And we have to add a little bit to the performance. After driving this for quite a while, both of us come to an agreement that we have to remove a little bit of marks, a little bit of star from its performance, objectively. And this is very objective, because the car keeps bottoming out.
Yeah.
Significantly. It keeps bottoming out, and I wasn't even doing anything reckless or fast.
You're going like 15 kilometers per hour.
Correct, and I was really respecting the speed bump.
Yeah.
And yet the car cannot handle my level of respect.
Yeah.
I need to prostrate before a speed bump like this in order for the car not to bottom out in the suspension. I think this is an engineering mistake.
Yeah.
This is very poor. It sounds like something that they did with the E300 Blue Tech Hybrid. This was okay. This one is okay. You see the phobia? That's a real issue, man. This is an engineering mistake, and for that I have to reduce a little bit of mark for objectively speaking. Just now I give a 4, but ultimately I have to say whether objectively and whether it is because contextually we have very high expectation. But nonetheless, I think the final score is 3.5. Yeah, looks.
When pictures of this car first went online, I thought, okay, pretty face.
Yeah, pretty. It is a pretty car.
Silhouette, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
You're not messing with it. It's nice, but I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Why?
I didn't like it because you look at your CLS.
Yeah.
You know immediately. You take out the badge also.
Yeah.
You know it's a Mercedes-Benz. You see the eyes already.
Yeah.
Like, this is a weird looking Mercedes-Benz. This is a Mercedes-Benz took a hammer to it and whack it into a weird shape, you know?
Yeah.
It looks weird, but it's distinguished and distinct. But this car, first of all, to me, if you take out the badge, it doesn't look like a Mercedes.
It looks like a what? Kia.
Yeah.
It looks like a Kia, doesn't it?
The outside, to me, it doesn't look Mercedes.
But inside
the inside, it looks like any other Mercedes.
It looks like an S-Class.
And in fact, you go in an E-Class, a full-spec E-Class, which costs 200,000 less than this. You get a full-size sunroof.
Yeah.
The sunroof goes all the way to
And
the
this
back.
one doesn't.
This one only gets the front half.
Because the curve.
Again, objectively good. Objectively, this is not an ugly looking car. I think I have to give it lower score.
3.
3. It's very average.
Actually,
and the worst part.
Yeah. I knew it! I wanted to pull it, but I didn't remember. Oh, Sebastian, don't touch it. Oh, this is so tacky, man. This is so childish.
This is like-
so low. It's like a person with no sense, artistic sense whatsoever, attending and graduating with a degree in modern arts. The italic font from Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
But there are some elements of this design that I am rather in love with. You know, our complaints that the interior is a bit boring. It is, but you know, if you've never seen the S-Class, this is amazing. You know what I mean? It's just that we've seen the S-Class and we know how much better it can be. The outside look was originally, I was very infatuated with it. So, you know, for old time's sake, I need to give it a bit of once I was in love with the look, you know. Yeah. Now I just look at it and go like, yeah, pretty face, yeah, a bit messy in fact. But the tail is still, I love it. I like the tail.
Right.
Yeah,
actually the back is okay.
It's really quite good looking for me. And of course, I think they improve a little bit on the lines of the car where it is not as cramped as the first generation. I think partially what they did is they reduced the thickness of the seat. I think they did marginal improvements here and there, and this is very in line with the current generation look, which is actually very good. Looks is much better than BM on the inside, you know. Look at these vents. I know you may not like it, but the reality is compared to a BMW, oh goodness gracious. Yeah. The BMW is just like, oh, wow, it just came back from the 80s. So yeah, for that I can't be as critical, but there are some elements I don't like about it. So I have to give it somewhere between 3.5 to 3.8. So it is quite respectable that one thing they kept consistent throughout the CLS from the first model until now is this line here. Yeah? This line, it looks like a wedge that go all the way to the A pillar and come back here. And with the blacked out center here, that's quite good. But you can see some cost-saving measures being a severe cost-saving measure. Now, one of the typical sign of a Mercedes-Benz coupe, and this goes back at least 50 years, is that they put a piece of metal at their door. Yeah, right here. Okay, you see this? Chrome, shiny, completely metal. Yeah, I know because this thing came loose before, and we have to screw it back on. And it was metal, it was heavy, and it clinked. It makes some real metal sound. You find that also here, yeah? You find that also here, over here, and you find it in the corresponding body part, right here. You find this all the way going back to very old SLs and all the old Mercedes coupes. You'll find this. In the new CLS, yeah, they retained it, yeah? You see, it's a bit half, to be honest. It felt a little bit like halfway there. But the worst part is, it's no longer metal. It's plastic. You hear that? It's plastic. So it completely defeats the purpose that it's there anymore. I mean, why do you even have it? Another feature, and we're just doing this the other day with BMW, and I was trying to show Subhash how, you know, Mercedes-Benz used to pay significantly more attention to their choice of material and their supplier. It could be their supplier. I show you this in the door hinge. Yeah, you see how a Mercedes-Benz door hinge is. Look at this. This car is what, 12 years old. Look at this door hinge, right? It doesn't look like something you can buy from this Tan Kim Hock hardware shop. Right? And I was showing Subhas how a modern BMW looks. It's horrible, man. I'm pretty sure if you unscrew it, you find a Chinese name at the back. And you can unscrew it, that's a keyword here. In this, I don't think you can do it yourself. But, you know, see how far Mercedes have descended. Look at that.
Tan Hing Kok hardware supply shop.
In Mercedes-Benz's defense, at least it was tinted black. The BMW one was that shiny chroming China made. There is few things that you notice a bit lazy about the design here. If you look at the face here, there's a bit of A-Class. I think what they're trying to do here is like, you know, reminiscent of the A-Class, the current A-Class. With that grille, it looks like you're inside you're on the inside of a Sapphire. Yeah. So the entire, all these dots, right? It's supposed to concave inwards a little bit, at least giving you that 3D feel that it is as if you're inside the Sapphire looking out. But over here, what they did is they did exactly the same design, but without the 3D effect. There is no concave bits at all, and I don't think it's hard to do. Why don't they do it? It's bordering on lazy, man. Right? It is flat. It is completely flat.
Maybe you have to pay a little bit extra and get
Maybe,
a next edition.
Because edition 1 is not enough. You have to have edition 2.25.
Normally the Burmeister is somewhere like a bit more nuanced. This one, Burmeister.
High end!
In case you forget.
forget.
This is an expensive sound system. You have to put high
end.
How do you know a product is high end?
Because it says so. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Check out the multi-pin LED. Whoever wrote that font, his first language of typing in his computer is not English. This is me sitting straight in my CLS. My hair is touching the roof, but my neck can turn. Yeah, it is not restricted. Not a comfortable place to be.
That's the first generation CLS.
Yep. And now let's get here. The current generation CLS 450. Nope.
You can't even lie back.
I can't lie back. As you can see, I am not trying to even sit up, because if I sit up, my neck would be locked into a position. So it's permanently touching my hair, as you can see, and it's really not a comfortable place to be. Front is okay, but then my CLS, the front is also okay. CLS, the entire car is aged, but there's one line that was defining in the CLS. It's this line. Look at this. It goes from inside the line and it cuts across there, and it's so pronounced, right? Yeah. This is an engineering, and in terms of manufacturing, it's quite difficult to achieve, because you got to fold the metal that way. And look at the fold. It's not a light fold. It's not a subtle fold. It's a severe fold that where it goes, the angle was very significant, then it comes back out a little bit. And the continuity is this through the fuel cap. So it's very dramatic. It's a line that is very significant, that cuts across the entire car. You don't find that here, which is a little bit sad. Yeah, they just kind of, yeah, CLS, man. It's blazy, right? It's melted off.
Finally, value.
Let's play guess the price of the car. I kind of know that it doesn't hit 750.
Yeah, it is.
The original CLS was expensive when it first came out, wasn't it? I think it's because of the capacity, 3.5. Now it's gone down, so it ought to be a bit cheaper. Yeah, and it does feel a bit cheaper in here, because the previous model was built like a tank. This was not a breakthrough, to be honest, and it was built not to the standard that the original cars were built to. I expect this car to be 690.
Oh, very close. 690, 888.
Oh, this is the Mercedes nonsense. So you can't ask for discount, because you will break the good luck. In a sense, it is okay, better than what people were paying for the previous Mercedes-Benz CLS. Yeah. So I should see more of this. It is a good looking car. It is a very competent car. I struggle to see the value proposition of this over the S. Yeah.
And here's my beef.
You beef? I thought you Hindu.
They used the CLS the first time as a breakthrough in design, to show we're going to do design a bit extreme in the next few years, and I think it worked very well. CLA also was the next phase when they did that. I think they should have used the CLS this time.
One more time. Yeah. One more time. Yeah.
They should have used the CLS not for their mild hybrid system, for a full electric car. A full electric S-Class alternative, which is a bit more drivable. You have markets that Tesla Model S cannot get into, like Malaysian market. Yeah. And people are sitting there asking, how can I buy a Tesla Model S in Malaysia? How can I buy CLS, all electric CLS. Statement car, just like a Model S. Got Mercedes branding. You can charge whatever the and people will pay for it value-wise.
To be honest, I struggle to see how this is a value proposition over the S. During the first CLS, the original S is not that great looking. So the CLS kind of provided a more handsome, more avant-garde alternative to the S then. But the current S is just so gorgeous. I don't know, I think the S-Class is still a better buy. Value-wise, I don't know, it's okay, it's cheaper than previous CLS, which is good, but at most I stretch it for you, I'll give you a 3. So in all aspect, I think overall is a 3 out of 5 for everything, which is competent, good, but not impressive, right?
It's quite sad for a CLS to be an average car.
Okay, Autophiles signing out.
CLS 450 4MATIC Edition 1.
Oh wow. When I first saw the car when it first came out in 2006 or 7, I hated the look. Then after a few years I owned one. I still remember the exact point. I saw one in 2006 in Hatama shopping mall, right outside that. I remember my face go like what the f is this? That light is a bit, it's a bit offensive to me, you know? So you see, because it is offensive, it kind of burned into my memory.